Hi everyone, I'm Alicia and today I'll be talking about chapter 5 with another horrible event in this story called Candide. Okay, recalling the past chapters, so we are introduced to James, the Anabaptist, aka Ch5 in chapter 3 and 4. So he embodies practical goodness and generosity, and he also pays for Pangloss's cure, and he also employs him after. And however, the last chapter closes the philosophical debate about the Pangloss's philosophy on everything is for the best, in which we will still be discussing in this chapter. And well, Voltaire also says that the blind of optimism is really not available in this chapter. And then on the last chapter, they set off for Lisbon in a boat with a storm hinting that there is a more dangerous setting and misadventure ahead. And for the summary, so in the first sentence, starting from the first sentence and the first paragraph, it says that the vessel was a total wreck due to the horrible storm, in which is mentioned in chapter 4. And James, which is the Anabaptist, he risked his life to save a sailor who had once hurt him. But while he succeeded, it was a sudden movement of the ship which throws him into the sea, while the sailor, who was selfish and ungrateful, lets him drown without saving him. And Candide wants to rescue James, but Pangloss stops him and says that everything is for the best, which is another satire and irony of humor to say that this philosophy is not true. And the moments later, the ship sinks with only Pangloss, Candide, and the cruel sailor survived, in which I personally think that is a criticism in the blind belief of Pangloss and optimism, and referring to that evilness can still survive in this world and everything may not be for the best. So some of the theses are questioning blind optimism, good versus evil, and reality versus philosophy. First, questioning blind optimism. Pangloss has always said that this is for the best of all possible worlds, but Voltaire uses various of examples and events, horrible events, to show that how silly it sounds and how weird it is to say that everything is for the best while people are dying and suffering in this world. And next is good versus evil. While James is kind and help others and benign to the sailor that he can might not be saving him, well, he dies, but he is still benign to the sailor. And while the selfish sailor lives in the ship, the event of the storm, well, it shows that the life isn't always as fair as Pangloss said in his philosophy. And lastly is reality versus philosophy. Just like I said and everyone said, the irony and humor in the story insists that Pangloss talks about theory instead of the real event. Throughout all the chapters, Pangloss always says the same thing, which is his philosophy, in which is not true, and it's imaginary and theoretical, while the reality keeps on punching back and refusing his philosophy, and who explains that the reason instead of the philosophy which Voltaire is trying to say. So lastly, I want to talk about the discussion question. Well, you can maybe just think about it every time you finish the chapter, because we all know that the chapter is all about the irony and the criticism of things that Voltaire wants to say, and a lot of chapters are similar with each other. But We can all see the pattern that it is criticism of the fact that everything is for the best. So when you finish a chapter, just think about if Candide's belief has changed or manipulated through the challenges.
What was that?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.